Hey everybody, Larry here, Boxcars Garage. So we're going to try to get some progress done on the old coupe today. I'd like to get the door squared up. Right now it's racked about 3/8 of an inch like we talked about in the last video. So I'm going to put it on the old torture table and we're going to put some pressure on it, do some tapping on it, and try to get it squared away. Okay, when I tried to put this straight edge up against the door skin on this one, I am held way off up high here. You can see it is probably at the widest point there. I'd say I'm being held off about 3/8 of an inch. I'm going to guess that it probably starts in this area right here as far as it being kicked over. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put that straight edge up against the bottom, and I'm going to overlay the straight edge against this door skin here, and I'll show you where the line should be. Put the straight edge up against this door and you allow it to overlap at the top. It ends up showing that, but I'm about 3/8 of an inch kicked over this way, and it should be the other way. So I got to figure out where it happened at. I suspect it's probably in this area on both sides. We are going to do a couple of things, and I just wanted to explain that before you saw me doing things other than what you had expected. Primarily, I'm going to be moving this panel out of my way. I'm going to go ahead and release it from the door. I need to do some straightening on this anyway while it's off of the door. So it's going to be a win-win either way. When we're done and we're happy with everything, we will probably screw it into position with some Tex screws, and then we'll come back at a later time to weld it up, because you never know, when I get to the bodywork phase I might decide that I need to get back in there and I don't want to cut it away twice. So we'll keep that option open to us. In addition to removing this panel, I've got a problem. It's on the other side. There we go. I got a problem with the bottom hinge. The bottom hinge is not straight, and I tried to adjust it the other day, backing it up with my workbench, trying to keep things from moving other than what I wanted to move, which was that hinge. And I started putting way too much stress on the skin, and I had to go back and I had to dolly it out. But I don't want to go through that again, and it's still not where I want it. So I am going to go ahead and drill out the rivets that's holding that side of the hinge on the door. We're going to take that piece off. I'm going to straighten it. I'm going to fix the damage that may exist in this area, and maybe some of the new stuff that I put it through the other day. I'm going to square that away, and then we will get this door hinge back on. We will probably bolt it back on just like they typically do. Like this one, you see it's all got removable bolts, and this one has 1 and 2 rivets, so I have no idea what that's all about. Why there would be 1 and not all of them one way or the other. So that is what we're going to do to get started. Let's make it happen. Okay, so we're on phase 3 of the door repair. I finally decided to try to tackle the upper portion of the door, the problem of it being racked. How racked is it? If you're just showing up to the party, I just said it was 5/16 of an inch. It is indeed 5/16 of an inch. I will show you by breaking out camera number 2. And camera number 2 says it is 5/16 of an inch out, and that is out facing forward in the car. It touches along the side at the bottom, and it touches at the side right here. But when you get to this edge of the lock latch assembly area, down here on the top part is when it starts to show that you're moving in the wrong direction. It's 1/16 of an inch right there. So it started to move somewhere in the middle of this latch assembly. And if you look, there's a good reason for that, and that is there's a lot of material that's cut away just to allow that latch to work. So with that material being gone, it's like the weakest spot, you know, in the side structure of this door is right in this area. So it started to move right around here. And so you notice we've got this plate right here. What I did was I took, you know, a copy of the mechanism, and I just replicated that with a piece of similar thickness steel. I don't know if it's like 14 gauge or whatever. And I went ahead and drilled it and screwed it in this place, and this is going to provide the same resistance that was in place when this was installed in the door and the damage happened. And I think the goal is that this is going to control the bend back, you could call it. When I put pressure on this door and start pulling it, this will keep this from getting wonky, and it will move at the right pace. Versus if this was out, I could have more movement here than really what I want. And anyway, this should keep it more consistent. That is why I put it there. So we'll see if that works out the way that I have it planned. We are going to stand this thing up on its edge for the repair. And to do that, like I said before, this is where it needs to be. This, from this point all the way down, is where it needs to be right now. I want that to stay where it is. So what I have done is I have made a bit of a standoff. You see I've got this edge here of the door. Standing this door up on its edge with that edge there, you know, you've got to account for that. That won't work. So I made this piece of material. It will basically keep what we know is good. This will be what is going to be setting on the table, and I'm going to drill a couple of holes, probably 3, that will pass through the door, through this material, and then into the table. And that is going to hold that door upright on the table. And then I will probably put some like prop on it to where it leans plumb like it's supposed to. And that will be kind of how the patient will be set up. You might wonder, well, why are you doing it that way? Well, when I put pressure on this thing, I really need to be able to get into this area right here. There's some hammer and dolly work that needs to happen while I've got pressure on it. So if I have it up, I can get to it. And then the second thing is that this end of the door needs to be somewhere around the edge of my table, because I have got to have something to pull against. My idea is to use a long clamp that will be standing straight up, and one edge will be hooked over that portion of the door and actually pulling it down, and then the other end is going to be underneath my table, this lip on my table, and that is going to be pulling it down. So let me get this dude stood up and we will proceed. So here's my rig. I just got it wrapped up. I'm about ready to commence to putting you on time lapse and going after it. But I thought I'd go ahead and point out how I've supported things. This probably could be considered overkill. It's all I could come up with. This edge of the door is bolted down to my table. I've got that 3/4 inch of standoff material between the table and my door, because I had to get the I had to support the door, but I had the lip in the way, the door skin edge, so I had to stand it off from the table. Anyway, I had to bump up my connection here, so I did a through bolt, and I've got a nut and washer on the underneath side of the table holding this one down. The other one is done with a lag. But if I would have had 2 lags, I would have just done it with 2 lags probably. It's real sturdy. The bottom won't shift at all. So everything here is free floating, but everything here needs to move down. Really, my table can be my index as far as if I've gone far enough, because once it kisses the table, then when I let go, it's going to spring back up probably 1/16 of an inch, and the rest of the edges are setting at 1/16 of an inch from the table. So on the other side, if you was looking at it from the other side, from this point to the end, there's a 3/16 of an inch gap between the side and the table. So that's my margin that I want to have consistent all the way up to here. So I'll put pressure pulling this down, and once I touch this table and I let go, I'm sure there's going to be some level of spring back, and we'll see where we end up then. If I don't have it where I need to go, I might have to shim that up a little bit more, like maybe another 1/4 of an inch or whatever, in order to allow me to overdo it to where it can spring back. So, but we'll see how it works. This upright here, all it's doing is providing some sort of alignment of the door. It's keeping the door from being floppy because I've only got it attached at the bottom. There's probably some level of twist prevention that it's doing at the same time. I don't think I'm going to have that problem. I think this is a pretty simple pull. It's going to go straight down, and so I don't think I'm going to have an issue with twisting, but we'll keep an eye on it. 1/8 of an inch is there, so I pulled out maybe 3/16, but I'm touching right here. I don't know why this part of the door is, I don't know why it's touching right there. There's no reason for it other than it might be in the edge, how the edge was folded. I don't know, but I'm going to loosen up the door from the table that I've got it bolted to, and I'm going to put a shim up in this area. I'm going to get this up another 1/16 of an inch, and I'm going to take that back down, put pressure back on it again, and I'm going to do some more dolly work on the areas that I had previously marked, and then we will see where we're at again. But I'm happy we do have some results, and we have a very blurry image. Okay, so we're going to check things out and see where we're at. Hopefully I can go ahead and take this thing out of this contraption and give her a test spin. Okay, so my GoPro was at like 10% when I started taking this thing off of the table, so it should have come to no surprise that it decided to die when I was talking to y'all. We never learned, we never learned. Looking possibly better. Hot dog. Let me lower you down so you can soak it all in from the back to the front. Lower you down again. There you go. Okay. I was starting to think that this was going to be one of those video archives that never sees the day. But here we go. So we are touching here. We are touching here. We are touching here. Come on now. And when we put it on the door, there'll be no hiding it. Yep. Let's see if we can look at the other side. Let's see what that tells us. Going up on the hinges. I'm about a 1/16 of an inch off here in this middle area. But this edge right here, I need to move it a little bit anyway. I think these hinges have taken their toll through the years, and I think this side probably is not as squared up as it probably could be right now. So I'm going to say that this side right here may not be the best indicator. Let's look at the edge. See what the edge tells us. The edge looks pretty good. Let's put her up on the car and see what we got. Yeah, well. Okay. So, as you can tell, I'm having a hard time with it right now, so it's not right, and there's no reason to go ahead and force it. It is, I can tell that I did move it before. My door was actually overlapping this piece, my A-pillar, and now it gets tight there, but it's over, and it's not overlapping it. So I did move it. My seam looks good from all the way up to here, and then I get tight. So I need to go back with the rig there, and we're gonna have to move it around some more. That's just all there is to it. So I got her back on the rack, and I didn't take it as far as I thought I got it that first time around. You know, an eighth is still, it's a good thing, moving in the right direction, but I really thought that I had gotten closer than that, but it showed me that it wasn't ready yet. So right now I've got my water spray bottle. I've got a wet towel right here. I'm going to consider maybe cooling this off after I hit it with a couple of licks of heat. I've stripped some of my paint away. This is the area that I want to hit with the heat. This area was what was had the most damage in it that I had dollied. But I really don't know what results I'm going to get from this. In my mind, I'm thinking, you know, if I put some heat on this, maybe that's going to allow this corner to relax a little bit, and I'm fine with leaving this door under tension all night. So that's really not a problem. And I believe that if this thing got kicked over, it's this corner and this upper corner is where I had the damage that I was really focused on when I was doing the dolly. So I think if I'm gonna just pay attention to this right here. I've got some I'm gonna hold off on that upper area. I need to strip it better. I need to possibly change my clamps to where there's no plastic. I've got plastic on 2 of the clamps that's holding things together up there, so I can't get that hot right now. I'm just going to hit this with a little bit of heat and we'll see what happens. I've got an asbestos mat back behind this area. This, of course, is a MDF table. I'm trying not to burn the place down. I've got kind of a heat shield here that will slow down ignition, I believe, to some level. What I'm going to do is I'll pull this out once I'm done with my heat treatment. I'll pull this out and we'll cool this off, and we'll check and make sure we don't burn anything down tonight. And all else fails, I've got a fire extinguisher that I'm staring at right now. I've got them all over my shop, so let's warm it up. And that's enough. Okay. So, the disclaimer up front, my roof right now, we've talked about it before, it's out about 1/4 of an inch, and I noticed that when that door was closing, I was putting pressure on this loose roof system right here, so that may keep me from being able to fully beta test this door. I still haven't replaced this middle section. I don't think that that's, you know, a problem with regards to us trying this door out. I don't think it's going to have an incredible sag to it or anything that is going to be distracting us from looking at what we want to look at, which is, did we pull the rack out of it or not? That's really what we're here for. We're going to see if we understood the assignment or not. I can already tell you that lining up these hinges is already going better than in the past. Now this one up here, this hinge needs to be pulled. It needs to be pulled and worked on. So that's, you know, we got that going for us. There we go. Here we go. This is the reveal. Let's go. Yes, okay, that's okay. That's okay. I've done a fair amount of work on this door. I don't mind saying. I've done a fair amount of work on this side of the car. Really, considering the A-pillar, you know, the new cowl side and everything. Come on. You go in, you go out. You go in. Do I have a hammer? Yes. We don't want to drive it home. Okay. Okay, let's take a look at things here. You see how it's moving my roof here. My roof is not where it needs to be right now, but I've got a bad roof system there. So I got good margins up here. Here it's a little bit wider, but up here it gets tight. But like I said, this hinge right here is bent, and I think I can fix that by drilling that hinge out. But looking at the door, that is as nice as my door has ever looked. My bead is about a good 1/4 inch off. It's high. It's high, so I need to drop this door down, take this top hinge off, and straighten it. And I think I should be able to pull the door out a little bit, which is going to move this the way that I want it to go. But down low, I'm good on I'm looking good. Yeah, I just got that roof in my way now. But if you remember before, we were a full 1/4 inch, if not more, hanging over on this A-pillar. But we're not now. We're just kissing the A-pillar right now, the edge. Let me see it get you in here a little bit better and you can see. Let's see if we can. You see how we're kissing that edge right there. So we need to move the door out a little bit, but we're looking pretty good the rest of the way down. So sit you down right there. So I think we're heading in the right direction. I'm going to do a tweak. I'm going to go ahead and drill this top hinge out and straighten it up. I'm going to do that off camera. And then I'm also going to see if I can get this roof system pulled in a little bit. The whole reason why the roof system is what it is right now, and I'm not like completely getting into the roof right now, is that I've got to pack up this car sitting on top of its original chassis and take it to my local DMV to have it inspected to where I can generate a Florida registration for it and title. My option, if I didn't do that, would be that at a later date, they would, you know, have me bring it in under its own power. They would assess it, and that all the taxes had been paid on it. And then they would have called this a kit car and told me, okay, well, you need to pay this amount of tax and whatever. And that's not happening for me, because I'm not going to put this level of effort into a car for it to be called a kit car. It's just not going to happen. So I'm doing the bare minimum right now that I can do in order to package this up and take it to the inspectors at the DMV. So I really don't want to get into the roof right now, but I might be able to do a couple of tweaks with it being in the state that it's in order to be able to check this door out. So anyway, I'm going to call this a success. And if it takes a little bit more, you know, then so be it. We can do a little bit more. And I can bring you along for that, or I'll just let you know what I did and we'll press on. But the door is going in our direction, and we're making things happen. So anyway, thank you for hanging out to the end of this video. I'm sure it's going to be a pretty long-winded video. There's a lot that happened with this video, and a couple of departures of the programming happened during this video. And like I said, I'm a little distracted this evening. I got something coming into the shop, and I'll give you a hint. It's not a car. So there you go. That's all I'm going to give you. But to be able to find out what I'm bringing into the shop, you're going to have to tune in next time. And speaking of next time, if you want one of those reminders that I've put out content, which we all do, then consider subscribing and smash that bell. It lets you know that I dropped a video, and then you can find out what's coming into the shop. Appreciate everybody for watching. Appreciate you subscribers, and y'all have a good one. Catch you later.